the first one is sit. It's really kind of important for a dog to sit, especially our excited, jumpy dogs who like to jump on people and greet people by getting up on our face. Very normal behavior because our faces are up here. They want to see us, so they jump, but it's not really very polite. So the best thing we can do is teach our dog to sit. And we're going to assume this dog does not know sit. So we start with a food lure, and I put it in front of my dog's face. And when I raise it up just a little bit, the bottom's going to go down. And as soon as her little butt hovers just above the floor, just before touching, I'm going to click and deliver that treat right to her. So I'm going to toss a little treat just so she gets up. And we're going to do it again. So again, this is step one, luring. We lure it. Now we don't want to lure it for too long. Notice I'm not saying anything yet because we're pretending she doesn't know the word. So the first thing I want to do is get the behavior nice and clean before I call it anything. Otherwise I'm calling a messy behavior something, and I don't want a messy behavior. I want a clean behavior at the end. So I'm not going to name it until it looks pretty much like what I want it to look like. Good. So I do that a few times. Now most dogs know that already because that's like the first thing they learn. So in the next step, no treat in my hand. Look, Mom, no hands. I'm going to do the same movement with my hand, and this becomes a hand signal. And I like to use a verbal signal with my dogs, but I'll tell you, the hand signals are very easy for the dog to read, and they come in really, they're very, very useful. I have a 12-year-old dog right now, and just in the past couple months, I noticed she doesn't hear anymore. So having these backup hand signals are really, really nice. Good. So we get that, we get the hand signal. Now let's say I do want a verbal signal. I want to be able to tell my dog, you know, while I'm carrying 2 bags of groceries, I want to be able to tell my dog SIT, and I want her to do it. I don't want to have to do this constantly with my hand. Because sometimes I'm not going to be able to do that with my hand. So what I'm going to do, Scotty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the verbal cue. I'm going to say, sit. And of course, she's going to do it because she knows the word. But the way to get that clean behavior, you saw I didn't move my hands at all. I didn't do anything weird with my head. I didn't lean. I didn't wiggle. I just said, sit. She didn't do it that time. Sit. Good girl. There, she did it. So they pick up on our body language, and they tend to not learn the word if we're doing this at the same time. This is the mistake a lot of people make. They go, sit, 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 sit. And they repeat it a bunch of times, and 2, they do this at the exact same time they're saying the word. So the dog never learns the word because they're just paying attention to this. So what we want to do is we want to go sit, pause, hand signal, click, treat. So give yourself a half a second of a pause so that you can get to the point where they're going to learn the word all by itself. Sit. Good. So notice I really tried hard not to move my hand or move my treat or reach for my treat or do anything like that. You got to get up, honey. Good. Sit. And that's what I want. I want to sit, pause. If you need to do a hand signal because it's a dog who doesn't know the word sit or hasn't heard it before, then sit, pause, hand signal, dog does it, click, treat. So it's very deliberate steps. Okay, and then you do that a few, like maybe half dozen times, and then test it and just say sit and see if your dog will sit without you doing anything with your hand. Okay, so that's how you get the verbal sit. All right.